Coming to you live.
Yes, live.
Live.
Welcome to the Ref Room.
Hockey talk for parents, players, coaches, and fans.
Text everyone you know. Facebook, chat, tweet, buzz, bling. I don't know. Just do what you have to do.
This is the Ref Room with Scott and Brad.
Come on, come on, come on. It's about to go down.
The Ref Room starts right now.
It does. It starts right now. It's Wednesday. It's hump day. It's hockey day. And I am joined by my favorite referee and peanut butter and jelly sandwich eater, Brad Baumrock.
I was wondering.
Welcome, guys. Yeah, I had to throw that in there. You know, we're all in such a good mood because, you know, hockey has returned. Guys are skating again, having some fun out there. It's all good. So we got lots to talk about today. And I think you've got some little breaking news, don't you?
Yeah. So USA Hockey has come out. They're going to hold nationals. Each state has to deal with their own way. What teams are going to represent.
Yeah.
And the only big issue is right now they really don't know where they're going to be held because California had dropped out. They were going to host a national. Michigan was supposed to have a couple, I believe. And now it's looking like they might not have it. So
I was hearing Texas, right? I mean, Dallas might be a spot. And I forget, there was one other hub that was kind of mentioned for that. But I know California's can't possibly do it. I can't see anybody going there for that with everything so closed.
And Dallas is, I'm not going to lie, I've done nationals in Dallas. And if anybody gets to go down there, they hook you up down there. They're nice people. They bring in barbecue for lunch.
Dallas is nice.
Day, so
yeah, I don't know
where. A lot of fun.
I don't know where the rinks are in relation to like the different areas like Deep Ellum and what is it, the West End or whatever. But there's some cool spaces in Dallas. I like it down there. It's kind of neat.
Yeah, the rinks are about 45 minutes to an hour from the airport. Like there's only a select few. There's not like a million here like we have in Chicago.
Yeah.
But what's kind of interesting is the Stars own most of those rinks.
Oh, wow.
Because they were struggling down there, so they stepped in to keep the hockey community alive. So they have most of them. So it's real cool. You go in there, and there's one with a big Dallas Stars shop in it. And it's interesting. It's a different setting down there, and it's a lot of fun, though.
Well, we are so lucky because we have so many rinks here, and I don't know if you've had a chance to skate at the new Glenview rink, but I was there the other day. Oh my God, what a beautiful facility. I mean, they just did an incredible job. And, I was thinking, they're leaving the old rink up and they're adding a sheet. No, they redid everything. They got 3 sheets of ice there. So they have 2 full sheets that are hockey rinks and a studio rink. And, the rink, I grew up playing in Glenview. That was my home ice, or where we played our high school games every Sunday night. So that was the main rink that we played out of for high school back then. And, it's been the same. I mean, they've kept it up and it was pretty good. But, wow, this is really nice. I mean, they did a great job in there. So if you guys get a chance to take a game in Glenview, I highly encourage you to do so. The ice is impeccable. The facility is impeccable. They spent some serious culling in there. It's, it kind of rivals MB. I mean, MB's an amazing facility. It's maybe not at that level, but it's beautiful. They did a great job. So, hats off to the community of Glenview for the new rink that they've got, or new rinks that they have.
The question I have, Scott, though, is did they fix the parking situation that's there? Because if anybody ever wants to go see something that's just amazing, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, GBS plays GBN for a varsity game.
Yeah.
And it is a madhouse. Like, if you're refereeing, you have to get there at least an hour and a half early in order to get a spot in the parking lot. Or else you got to park down the street, and it's about a quarter of a mile walk with your bag to walk in.
All right,
or
so
be smart and drop your bag.
Yeah, so it's like going to Vernon Hills if you're doing the Highland Park Deerfield game on the night before Thanksgiving. It's the same situation. Yep. So, all these great rivalry games, if you have Loyola and New Trier, you're going to have parking situations. All the good games are like that. But actually, so the parking lot there, so if you are going there for the first time, you used to have a driveway kind of near the fire department that you could turn in and out of. they've eliminated that. They've closed it off. So you actually have to come into kind of like a semicircle driveway, which is not great because people are dropping players off with bags or skaters. But the problem with it is it's kind of tight getting through there. But now they opened up, like the parking lot goes all the way back. And when you exit, you're going out past the fire department. So you're going behind the fire department building and coming around. So they've opened all that parking up. So they do have ample parking now, I think.
Okay.
Unless they had maybe 2 rivalry games going on at the same time. It might be a little tougher in there. But yeah, they did a good job. It's really nice. The ref room was... I only saw one ref room. One of my partners commented that they didn't think there was a second ref room, though. So I don't know. If it's only the one ref room, we're going to need a player's locker room because I don't think if you're doing 4-man in there, you're going to have room. It's a little tight with just 4 guys in there. So I'm not sure if there's another dressing room that they have available, but we'll find out. Maybe if some of you guys have seen it or been there, and I've only seen games on the A rink, but they have another rink too. So before we continue, I want to talk about this a little bit more, but let's tell everybody basically that normally when you come in to the Facebook group, if you're on our ref room page with the group, you can't have your picture or comments show up identified. But we now have a link. We have some new technology available. Everything is always improving. So now there is a link up there. If you guys click that link, it will connect you to the page, and it authorizes Facebook to use your photo from Facebook and your name. So please take a moment and click that link and get connected so that you can be a part of the conversation, because it's always better when everybody joins in. For some reason, we have a lot of ghosts in the ref room.
I think
Nobody wants to out themselves and say, "Oh, I made a mistake on a call or something," or get involved. So we understand, guys. And hello to Brian. Good to see you. Thanks for saying hello. Some people checking in already. So Brian, one of our working busy officials, a great guy. If you haven't had a chance to work with Brian, and Brian, I think we have a game coming up, if I'm not mistaken. I just saw that. And see, here's a Facebook user. Good to see you last Friday, Scott. Well, who is it that saw me last Friday? So please click that link so I know who it is.
Scott, the worst is last Friday. You probably don't even remember where you at already.
I have no idea. I have no idea whatsoever. Jeff says, by the way, great article by Brad. Yes, thank you for pointing that out, Jeff. If you have not seen the article, it came in the newsletter. And our very own Brad Baumrock, I didn't even know he could write, but he wrote a really nice letter. And yes, it was long. Where he failed was he did not mention the ref room show. I mean, of all the things you could have talked about, you could have at least put a blurb in like, hey, check us out on Wednesdays at noon. But, we didn't get the pub. So I'm a little disappointed in you there, Brad, personally. But no, overall, guys, please check out the article. It's great.
I'm going to tell you this, Scott. It did not take me very long to write. I'm not going to lie. I know we've talked a lot. You've talked a lot. Me. I've talked a lot to a lot of other officials. And, I was sitting with some friends, neighbors across the street that, we see because our kids are all together for stuff. And, it having such a good time with them made me really, really down about not seeing my referee friends. And then I saw a couple coaches because we started to skate a little bit, and I was like, wow, I missed this way more than I realized. So I put it together because it was just something that I had to get out. It was a frustration, basically, letter. And I asked, and shout out to Mr. Foreman. I put it down and I texted him and said, can you take a look at this? Is it just babble? Was it mindless babble? And he read it, and he had like one suggestion to change some stuff. And he definitely proofed it for me and, changed some editorial things, commas and punctuation. Yeah. And, it was good. So I appreciate him doing that. And I appreciate all the people that have reached out to me, especially my friends. That, first one, when it came out Saturday, sent me an email, a text, actually, and I didn't even think you could write. Well, thank you very much.
I'm sure that was the comment. Did you keep all your notes in your riot pad? No, but it was a great article. So if you guys haven't had a chance, please check it out. Brad spoke from the heart, and it was very well written. Again, other than failing to mention the show on Wednesdays, I'm going to keep going back to that. But
thank you, Jeff, for it. Mason, thank you so much. And no, I didn't do it.
Marty Tong says hello. Mark has joined us. Great info on Glenview's room. Thanks, Scott. Yeah, Mark, it's gorgeous. I mean, we posted a picture. I want to say, might have been Brett that had sent us a picture early on of the Glenview rink, and it looked like absolutely amazing. And when you get in there, yeah, it is absolutely amazing. So I think you guys will really enjoy it. It's a first-class facility. Mason says, wow, Brad, no self-promo. See, I said the same thing, Mason. We're right here, buddy, right here. Yeah, totally in agreement. And Brian says, yes, we do have a game coming up, which is cool. And even Brad and I have a game coming up. I can't believe it. You're coming to the north side. He's got all his Sox gear on. Don't wear your Sox gear when you come over to the north side, okay? That's all I can say. And Brian says, great article, Brad. And Mark also says, great article, Brad. You really captured how most of us officials have been feeling during this time. Yeah, I think Mark hits it right on the head there, because we have missed seeing each other and being a part of it. And what's your take? Like the players are all excited and they're pumped up. I mean, the hits are bigger than ever because they've been locked up for like 9 months waiting to go after somebody. So it's been very exciting out there and very spirited. But I think overall everybody's just in a great mood. So happy to be back out there doing their thing. And, having fun, which is something that we haven't done in a long time. So it's really great to see. Lots of games. And if you guys haven't completed yet, I know that was, did I just steal your thunder there? Because there's a lot of guys that are still not complete that thought, there'll never be hockey again. But hockey has returned. So go ahead and tell them, Brad. I mean, give them the spiel. I mean,
we still have some officials, especially in our area, that aren't complete, but just across the country. And right now, with all this starting up, there's not going to be that many officials. So be good for us to all get out there and start doing this. And you know what? It's coming fast. In Illinois, I know that I've seen some emails, and they're posting games by like the minute. Like it's really something else. I mean, it's normally something else, but since we haven't seen it in almost a year, it's a lot of work. So hands up to all the assigners everywhere across the country, because I'm sure they're all kind of going through the similar pains as things are starting to get going here. And we're going to have a lot of games. And I think right now in our area, especially, we're probably not going to see a lot of 4 official games or 3 official games, to start out, but it's eventually going to get back there. So just, be calm and keep going. And
every weekend is a Nike Bauer weekend, basically, right now for you guys.
I have quite a few games this weekend, and I'm happy, and it's kind of interesting because I'm working with one of my really good friends, and we don't skate a lot together just because logistics. That we need officials here and there, and so we see each other during playoffs. So me and him are excited to work together, but it'll be interesting. So I would start getting out there and get your stuff done. I know quite a few people have gotten complete, and USA Hockey's been really, really good with getting stuff out to you, because normally you'll get your crest in and whatever, and it takes about a week or 10 days. I know people that are getting them like 3 days after they put in for it.
Good.
So they're there, and there's only a couple people up there at the USA Hockey offices doing all the officiating stuff.
They're working overtime for us.
They're definitely working. So, hands up to that. The only other big announcement, Scott, that I read was...
Hands up. Is that what you said?
Raise
the roof, Brad.
Was the American Showcase was canceled, which is the high school select teams for all the areas. So that got canceled. That's been held in St. Louis the past couple years, and they're planning on bringing it back next year. So that's a bummer, but from a competitive standpoint,
it's kind of tough. I mean, I think I want to say some of the high schools are trying to put together a little bit of a season somehow with some, like a 14-game season. in order to, have some sort of a league playoff or whatever they're going to do. I don't know what all the details are. We'll have to find out some more information on that because we were just kind of hearing rumblings over this past week of what they're doing. But I know, I believe for like Tier 1, they're just going to have to agree amongst the teams. So you got 4 clubs. You got Fury, Mission, CYA, and TI. And they're going to have to agree who's going to go to, is it to regionals or to nationals? Do you know?
So it'd be Central District playoffs.
Okay, so to get there, no competition, they're going to agree who's going to go there. So they must know amongst themselves who they feel would be the best representative that could go the furthest. But, if they can't agree, nobody gets to go. So, you could have a team that's, not on, good terms in terms of who they think is the better team, and then nobody would go. So, yeah, it's too bad they couldn't have a 3-game playoff series or something to get those guys going because there's not that many teams. I mean, you have 4 teams, so they could easily have a round robin. I mean, so it's a shame that they can't pull that off to
We'll see what they do because it says they need to decide.
Yeah.
Well,
we might have to decide instead of a coin toss. We might have to decide another way. So
so there's a lot of options there, and the clubs. I'm sorry to tell you, no matter what, they all talk, and
of course,
they may have rivalries on the ice, and the coaches may hate each other, but
at the end of the day, their hearts are in the right spot, and they're going to do the best thing to see who can go the furthest and be the best representative in that situation. Or they'll have a compromise. Your Bantam Major team you think should be going, but they're not going to go. But I'll tell you what, your Pee Wee Minor team can go. So
whatever. Starting to sound like figure skating in the Olympics now.
Yeah, exactly.
Not to make fun of figure skating, but there was that scandal back in the day where the judges were trading spots for points, and it can be a big thing. So
it's at all levels, so one of those things, we just hopefully we move on from that. We find a better way, but I'm sure those guys are all good people. I know they'll do the right thing, and we'll get the players there and get some representation and hopefully bring back some championships, which would be awesome. We all need championships in this day and age, so we're all happy that everybody's back out there competing.
Well, the interesting thing would be, Scott, it would be the first time that I'd ever know of where the team that would win a Nationals wouldn't have a state flag as well.
Oh, wow. That's a good point.
For the finals.
Right.
So it'd be the first time. That's kind of interesting,
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't get them last year. I know the 4 teams that were in the semifinals for all the high school stuff last year they all got flags.
Oh, they did. Okay, so they got a flag for. Okay, that was cool.
As far as I was informed, they were going to get flags. I don't know if they did that 100%, but they still got flags that they made it at least that far for the season because it's kind of weird that we paused out. Like I never would have thought we'd actually end a season in the middle of right in the middle of playoffs at the end.
Yeah. I mean that was weird. There is no doubt about it. Like, can we at least finish? The answer was no.
Well,
what did they do with all the merchandise that they had for Nationals that had all the years and stuff on it? Like Nationals 2020 or whatever.
I know.
Would have 1920.
You could buy stuff online at one point. I know.
Yeah,
USA
and I bet you could buy it at a significant discount too.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, it's all dated, so.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, I don't know. Get creative. Somebody in marketing just cross out the 0.
Yeah.
And put a 1, or
just a big
slash
X.
it and put an 01 next to it,
right.
slash 01 2000 slash 01.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think they're going to do
just
that,
add the national that never occurred 2019. And now you got a collector's item, so they could probably sell that stuff off pretty quickly. Because
I have a Blackhawks shirt with the Tasmanian Devil on it, and he's playing hockey, and it says Chicago Blackhawks win Stanley Cup 1992 or 94, and I've had it since I was a kid.
Yeah. Yeah, I can remember watching a couple of those games back then, and even before that, when you thought the Hawks were going to have a chance and Montreal would close them out, it would be all over. So some disappointments as Blackhawk fans. But, we've had a great team. We're having a great run. Blackhawks won the last couple games. So I'm happy for them. They're doing what they need to do. I thought that Dallas team looked pretty good last night. That was a good win for the Hawks last night. I thought, nice goal by Sutter. I mean, that was a beauty. But in overtime,
I didn't watch the game. I only saw the outcome.
I only saw the over. I saw the last 5 minutes of the game, and goaltending looked pretty good. Hawks looked pretty good. I thought they got a W, so it's all good, right? All right, let's talk about some hockey situations. Now that everybody's back working, I'm sure. I tell you what. Why don't you guys put in the comments if you've had a situation, something you want to talk about today? Throw them up in the comments. We'll take a look at them because I know there's a few things that I've heard about. I'm not going to call anybody out. I'm just going to call out a couple things that I saw or have heard from other officials. So I'll start with this one, and that is, an official gave a player a 2-minute penalty for no neck guard.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, guys, what is the right call if you're going to call a neck guard penalty on a player? What would that penalty be?
Well, let's
because it would not be a 2-minute penalty, which was assessed to a player. Unfortunately, I think it was probably a little bit lower level game, and I'm not going to say where it was or who it happened to, but it was probably like a lower level game, and a level 4 referee assessed a 2-minute penalty to the player for not having on a neck guard. So what is the appropriate penalty, guys? Why don't you put that in the comments, what the appropriate penalty would be if...
Well, Scott, let's point out this, okay? Since we do have people that aren't from Illinois that do watch this every week.
Yes. Well, that's a good point. You're right. We are bigger than just Illinois.
That neck guards are not a piece of required equipment by USA Hockey.
That is correct.
But the affiliate can always go further, which our affiliate would be the Amateur Hockey Association of Illinois. They require players to wear neck guards from Illinois. Now, mind you, it's kind of interesting. They are supposed to wear them anywhere that they play.
Right. But they don't.
I don't think the guys in New York know that they're supposed to be wearing them. And if they do, they're ahead of the curve, and bravo.
Yeah.
But you got the right answer.
I don't think they could would enforce it in New York if they were out there. Maybe they would, maybe they wouldn't. I don't know. Unless it was a tournament rule. But we do have a ding 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 winner from Mr. Straley. Brett always right on top of it, and he says warning and then misconduct. Yes, it is not a 2-minute penalty, and if you are a level 4, you should know that. I'm sorry. That came from a level 4 official that assessed that. That should not happen. So
and you know what?
I just had to throw that out there because, huh?
I put my arm up last week, and
did you put it up and put it down? Did you have a Velcro moment?
I put it up there, and it was up there a long time, and then finally my partner looked at me oddly, and I was like, "Oh, yeah, that was stupid." Like, it's just I think everybody's getting back into it. I'm sure. The other thing is too. If it was still a supervised game versus a sanctioned game at that point, I get it. Why do we get to sit a kid down for 10 minutes?
Yeah. Well, I put my arm up the other night for a penalty, and it was up there for quite a while. The other team had possession, and all of a sudden, I hear a whistle, and I'm like, did my partner blow the whistle? Like, it sounded a little faint. It almost sounded like an electronic whistle. And I shut play down because I didn't want anybody to get hurt. So I hit my whistle after that. And the coach is like, well, why did you guys blow the whistle? I'm like, I didn't blow the whistle. And I said, you didn't blow your whistle, did you? He goes, no, somebody had blown the whistle. And we ended up having to shut play down on a delayed penalty, which, is just the right thing to do because you don't want somebody to get hurt. If they heard that same whistle and they stop and they get blown up, it would be bad. But so I mean, somebody in the rink obviously had an electronic whistle. It sounded faint. I don't think it came from the other, like the studio rink, with the door open because you can't even hear the electronic whistles when they're like in your ear. So I can't imagine that was the case. But yeah, somebody had blown a whistle. So crazy stuff that happens. Let's see here. Oh, okay. Brett's got another comment. See, Brett's always on top of it. Good to see you, Brett. Or good to communicate with you. Glad you're chatting with us. By the way, guys, if you just joined us, don't forget, click that link that we have. If you're watching us on the Facebook Ref Room group, that's the group, because now you can actually see your comments and your names. It just authorizes Facebook to allow you to use your photo and your comments. So we appreciate it if you can do that, because it's just more enjoyable for everybody, so you're not flying under the radar and nobody knows who it is. You're like a ghost. But anyway, let's bring this back up, because he says, teams not used to normal procedures, no score sheet. They are thinking these are supervised training sessions. Yeah, you are correct in what you are saying there, Brett. And it's like not everybody is still back on the same page as much as they'd like to be. And, they are requesting that we are getting score sheets from the teams, but some of them are still kind of in, off supervised training session mode. So any official thoughts on that, Brad? Any, anything that would come from IHOA with regard to that that the team should know about? Or
referring to us in Illinois, so we have separate platforms, which John covered last week, but right now we have some different scheduling platforms. So, but if the game is on the ahi2.org site, those are USA Hockey sanctioned games. They are not allowed to be placed on that site if they are not USA Hockey sanctioned. So you need to wear a sweater and a crest like you would. And the reason is USA Hockey only considers a game if you have 2 registered USA Hockey rosters, 2 USA Hockey registered officials, except for in an emergency case, wearing a referee sweater and a crest. So that's the reason why there's been some emails that have gone out, wear your sweater and your crest instead of jackets. And that's why it comes down to an insurance issue. And, I'd hate to see somebody get get hurt, one of us, especially an official working. And it comes down to it gets denied because you guys were wearing jackets out there instead of referee sweaters.
Yeah.
Just
guys,
just make sure that you're
if you haven't completed, please, you need to get completed. And, we talked about this a little bit earlier, but it's really important, and it does affect, insurance coverage for everybody. So it's super important. And I know that, if you're on the AHI site, you wouldn't be able to get a game if you're not complete. So
you can't even access the site right now.
Right.
So they remove your access, but also, remember, USA Hockey, if you Google it, has an end date to the season in order to get complete. If you're not complete by that time, you have to wait all the way until June 1st for people to start seminars.
And when is it? Would that be like March 31st? I don't know, but I'm guessing like rosters close or hockey shuts down after March 31st because they did not extend the rosters. I think that's what we heard from John Dunn last week when he was on the show. So officially, we go back into like a normal spring season, which means the 8th graders come in for high school, and, we'll have our spring session that we would normally have. Of course, there'll be competition. There's no tournaments at that time. When I say tournaments, I mean like no playoff games or anything of that nature. Right. There would be tournaments that would be happening around town, but that's what happens after March 31st. So our season technically does end at that point. And we go to spring, which we didn't have last year. So, last year, I think we finished up around March 17th, if I'm not mistaken. That was probably the last games anybody would have worked. So no spring season last season, of course. But yeah, and I'm just curious, guys, in the comments, how many emails for TBAs did you guys get in the last week? Could you throw a number up there? Because, man, it looks like Nike Bauer on steroids times 20 by the number of emails that we are receiving with all the games. So it's really exciting. I'm happy about that. I'm certainly, that is not a complaint, guys. I just think it was exactly hundreds. I mean, they were coming out like 5 at a time from one assignment, like 5 of them here. here comes another 5. It was crazy. So yes, the guys are saying hundreds, and Arcady, hundreds. Yes. Jeff got 7,362.
That's sarcasm at its best. I'm not.
Yeah,
gonna lie.
no, I think that was pretty accurate. I think if we had to compare, if we put both these up, I think Arcady, you'd probably lose. I think there were more than hundreds. I think there were thousands. So yeah, it's good to see. I mean, everybody's excited about it. It's certainly not a complaint, guys. We are all very, very pleased to be back playing hockey, and seeing some people in the building, and just hearing those fans, with Dad beating on the glass. You got this, little Johnny. You got this. That's the best commercial at USA Hockey.
Arcady makes a good point there. The Horizon site's going as well, just so we're not ignoring that.
Yeah, exactly. So and
you get games on there too.
So there are multiple sites, guys. So you've got 3 locations to go. You've got the A-High site, you've got the 3 Blind Mice site, and you have the Horizon site. So there's a lot of people out there trying to schedule games and get going. I mean, we knew this would happen. The minute they said open, it was going to be like gangbusters, and yes, it actually was. So my hats are going off to all the signers out there, because I know they are working overtime and working very diligently on behalf of all the teams to get them the best possible officials for their games and get everybody taken care of and filled so that everybody can enjoy hockey. So good job, guys. We appreciate it. Let's continue. Now, I actually had a situation. This was kind of interesting because I had a player in the defensive zone leave a stick behind. So stick is on the ice. He's left the stick behind, and he's left the ice, and the puck got iced. And as the puck got iced, it hit the stick. And surprisingly enough, it hit the stick and still made it to the goal line. So I'm going to ask you guys in the comments, what is the right call there? Do you go with an icing, or do you waive that icing? It was the defensive player's stick left behind in the defensive zone, and the puck was iced. Do you waive that icing off, or do you call that icing? So love to hear from you guys. Put something in the comments, and we'll look at this, because I've never had that happen. It was kind of an unusual situation. So I'm going to see.
Stick.
Yeah, I'm going to see if I made the right call on that. I mean, I might have got it right. I might not have gotten it right, but I'd love to hear what you guys think on that. And Brad and I actually talked about this a little bit the other night, so that we wouldn't be blindsiding each other on this one. Arcady says it's an icing. Okay, Frankie's jumping up here. So if we get disconnected, guys, it's because Frankie's all over the keyboard. Yeah, it means the show is over. Usually she knows when the show is over. Maybe she's saying the show needs to be over. So Arcady says ice. What do the rest of you guys say? I know there's a lot of you guys out there watching, so put a comment in. Is it icing? No icing. There's no right or wrong answer. We're not going to beat anybody up. But again, I've never seen that in my 9 years that I've had a stick left behind on the ice, and the player left the ice, and so it's a discarded stick. And
it wasn't a goalkeeper.
No, it wasn't a goalkeeper.
Let's clarify that, because I thought about that after.
That would be that would be a whole different scenario if that was the goalkeeper's stick left behind.
Correct. Yep. And they changed that verbiage, so even if they accidentally drop it, they get bumped into, they still have to retrieve it. A goalkeeper does. They can't leave it blocking the net.
Right. Brandon says tipped. Wants to know if it was tipped. No.
Look at the one after it.
Sell the stick on eBay. Absolutely. Ron, I wholeheartedly agree with you.
Sorry.
I think that, what do you think we can get for that, Ron? The stick wasn't broken, by the way. The stick was in perfect condition. Just somebody not strong enough to hold on to it. Apparently, they left it behind. Let's see. Arcady says, if a puck hitted a ref, still icing? I think so. Same logic.
I'm going. It's a good point. It's a good way of looking at it. It's
Well, I'm not commenting. I'm not saying anything. I'm waiting to see some more responses. I mean, we got a lot of viewers on. I want to see some more responses. So I'm sure some of you guys are Googling furiously because you don't want to get called out here after I called a level 4 out for making a call they shouldn't have made. But hey, you know,
so
we're amongst friends. Even though this is on YouTube, we're amongst friends.
Since we were talking about it last night, and I brought up the other night, the situation, you know, you brought this up to me. Yeah. I then brought up a story that I had, which was very interesting. There was a game I was working, a youth game, and in the second period, you know, the teams change ends. And all of a sudden during the second period, I see a puck go down the ice. And in front of the team's bench, which would be the far bench at that point, the puck is going. And I'm like, well, okay, that's going to make it. You know, you can tell. All of a sudden, it's along the boards, like right along the kick plate. And you see all this snow fly up into the air. And the puck basically like stopped. And I was like, boy, that's odd. Like, maybe they just had a bunch of snow build up there or whatever. So I was like, well, I'm going to, whatever, you know. So we have it again. A little bit later, same exact thing happens. I'm like, what's going on here? Like, there's not that much snow over there. I was standing over there. Well, so I started watching the players as they were changing lines in a stoppage. All of a sudden, I saw one of the players over against the boards with their stick, piling snow up against the kick plate and pushing it in with their blade to make a little snow dam. I love it. It was a Bantam game, and you know I tip my hat to that player because it was a defenseman.
He must be a referee. He was trying to figure out a way not to have to retrieve that puck and bring it back.
But I went up to him and I just followed the procedure of goalies, you know, piling up snow. I gave him a warning. After that, we'll deal with it. But I did commend him. I said, you know what? I give you a lot of credit. And I don't know how long you've been doing this.
Years.
He's been doing it.
He's been doing it since he was a squirt when they couldn't get the puck all the way down the ice with the blue puck.
Well, it was just amusing to me because, like, you know, I've done a lot of games. And when something looks odd, the red light goes on in your head. And it looked odd. So finally, I started watching them. And it was when we were on the far side and seamlessly. So I don't know if somebody taught him to do it. I don't know. But you know what? Like I said, I tip my hat to him. It worked twice. It stopped the icing twice. So, you know.
So was he building it up to stop the icing on behalf of his team, or was he building it up to stop the icing? Okay.
Because they changed sides.
Yeah.
So they're far away. So when we're distracted doing our thing on the one side, he would get off the ice and pile up the snow. I was like, you know, if I wouldn't have seen the snow fly up and the react weird, I probably never would have recognized it. But I was like, and I went over there and I said, hey, I go, you can't be doing this. I go, but you know what? My hat off to you. That's thinking ahead.
That's good stuff. That's good stuff.
Not illegal till you get caught.
Right. All right. So we didn't get a lot of comments from you guys. You still don't know if that was icing or not, but we do have somebody. And again, you have a Facebook user. If you would click that link in the Facebook group that I posted earlier today on the thing, your name and your comment would come through with your picture versus just coming up as a Facebook user. But they are right. Ice, ice, and it should really be ice, ice, baby, but it's ice, ice. So yeah, it is an icing. And I blew it. I waved it off. I'll tell you right now, I blew that. So I'll put myself under the bus here but I'm not a level 4, so it doesn't matter. So.
What was funny is when you said it to me, and I was like, "Really? You waved it off?"
Yeah, I waved it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, my bad.
Still icing. What if it hit the Well, I think I said, "What if it went off the kick plate?" Funny or something. I just threw something random out there that
But here's the thing, guys. I'll never make that mistake again. It may be another 9 years, which I don't have 9 years left in me to ref. But if I had 9 more years, I might see it again, and I'll know to make the right call, because this is why we talk about these situations. That's what I love in the dressing room, because when we're in the ref room, guys, we all come across crazy situations, and it's the conversation, which we love, which is what we do here. And if it happens to you, guess what? It won't happen to you again, because you'll know better. So, it's a learning moment for all of us. And, we do make mistakes. So I'm going to fess up. And, Furman, if you're watching, I probably won't have any more. I'll get an email. You've been deleted from the following games. So,
He'll wait till April Fools to do that to you.
Yeah. Great.
I had a friend who's an assigner.
Oh, that's
One
funny.
day, April Fools. I had
Wow.
tons of games in April, and all of a sudden, all my games were gone.
Wow.
And I called him up on the
Now,
phone.
you know how you could get back at them. You
this?
just don't show up to any of them. You go, hey, they went away. Sorry.
I didn't even. It was funny because it didn't even come into my mind. I was like 20 at the time. I'm upset at that point, right? I'm like, what is this? You took me off all my games, and then he goes, "Yeah, you realize it's April Fool's today, right?" I was like, "Oh no!" And he just all he did was just change his name to all of them so that he could put himself on it. That's the
funny.
Stuff that's always good. That's fun. That friends are friends, and we all connect on certain levels and stuff like that. Yep. Even we have to say, "Wow, yep, he got me."
Yep. So we got a few more comments. Ron says, "Miss this stuff, icing." Yeah, we do miss it. This is what we've all missed. So we are so happy to be back to be able to have these discussions. And when Brad and I started the show, how many months ago was that? That was like in April or something. I want to say, or May. We've been going at it for quite some time, but. We thought, oh my gosh, we'll get back to hockey. The show will be much easier to do because we'll have something to talk about. And these are the things that we want to have discussions about because this is the stuff we sit around in the ref room and talk about at the rink. So, we're just happy to be able to do that again, which is very cool. And I know you guys are going to have some crazy situations that you're going to want to discuss. So please, if you have them, matter of fact,
you're watching The Ref Room with Scott Smokin' Sills and Brad Baumrock. Hockey talk for referees, coaches, players, and fans. The Ref Room continues right now.
Well, that wasn't the one I meant to play. I meant to play the one that talks about if you got a show idea. So if you guys have something that happens to you out there, go ahead and, send us an email or bring it up in the conversation. Put it in the comments. We'd love to talk about it. Give us some ammunition. We'll have some fun with it. We've got a lot of great referees out there that watch the show regularly, and they're going to be able to give you their opinion on it or whatever, or walk you through what might have been the right thing, and don't feel like you're getting called out. I just called myself out. I made a mistake. It's going to happen. We are all amateur professional referees. I mean, we are not in the NHL, and we don't have review cameras to look at and everything else. So. Katie said in the men's league, that would be different. Men's league, something different. Yeah, men's league, clean tip, no ice. Men's league, no ice, period. Men's league, no center line. Men's league, you weren't skating for the puck. We can just go on and on. And Facebook, so that was Gaffney, Scott Gaffney that jumped in and said, okay. So Scott, click the link. If you're watching, I put a link in there. Oh, you did? Okay, awesome. So I haven't gotten down to further in the comments.
He's putting in his bid for nationals right now in our comments. You need to contact the officiating program in USA Hockey. They sent out an email, Scott.
I didn't get that email. I didn't get that email.
If you were interested in working. So
okay. All right. And let's see. Oh, Katie, did it happen after 11 p.m.? Yeah, for those of you who don't know, if you're not an official, if you're a coach or a player, there is another rule book that kicks in after 11 p.m. I'm sure you guys aren't all aware of that, but the referee, it becomes Rule 641B, and the referee will let you know what the rule is at that time. and if you're a coach or a player and you don't know what Rule 641B is, there is no Rule 641B. It's whatever the referee says. So I just thought you guys would like to know that if you're a player or a coach or a fan and you don't understand, like I'm trying to Google this Rule 641. It stops at 640, but yeah, that's the deal.
And that came out, we'll revisit that real quick. That came out of a game that I was officiating, and I was lining, and one of my good friends was armbanding the game in the referee position. And the coach wanted to know the rule number of whatever he had called before. I don't even remember that part. but he's kind of standing next to me at the blue line, and this guy's yelling at me. And I said to him, "Tell him 641B." And the guy went, and he turned to him. He went, 641B. Then he turned back to me. He goes, "How'd you know the rule number?" I go, "The rule book ends at 640. I go, "He'll get it." And I'm sure, lo and behold, the coach had a rule book on the bench.
Yep.
And he opened it up and he looked at it, ended at 640, and his face totally changed. He took it, he closed it, and he put it back, and we never heard from him the rest of the game.
Yeah, I'll even tell him you can use your electronic device to check it out.
Don't abuse that.
You have exclusive permission to use your electronic device. That's illegal to check on that rule.
Well, and I had a situation last season, and see, because now I'm skating again, so I'm thinking of this stuff.
Yeah.
And in a USA hockey game, goalkeeper throws it up over the glass. Right? He plays it, he shoots it over the glass. So what's the call, Scott?
It's a penalty. The goalkeeper shoots it out over the glass. It's a penalty in USA hockey. Right.
Right.
But I think you should probably, confirm that wasn't tipped, that it didn't hit the top of the glass going out. So you want to make sure that you're 100% like all four officials have agreed that puck was clearly shot out versus putting that penalty up. But, I know the defensive players think that it should be a penalty when the other team does it, but that doesn't happen in USA hockey. That's only
you're talking
NHL.
About any player. Yeah.
Yes.
That's a junior rule too, as well. So you see it in the junior nationals. Well, so I'm lining, and the referee hits the whistle, and he's standing there. Somebody from out of town, because it was during Bauer weekend, so we have officials coming in. So I don't know the official, and I skate over, and I'm like, did that go directly over the glass? And he's like, yeah. And I go, that's a penalty. He's like, what? I'm like, yeah, it's a penalty for delay game. I go, I already have the numbers. I had written the numbers down of the players on the ice on my hand. And I'm like, okay, so we got to go get somebody. These are your numbers you can choose from. And we go explain to the coach, and he goes, that's not a rule. I go, oh, yeah, it is. No, it's definitely not, because it happened in the USA game the other day, and they just didn't allow him a line change. Okay, I get it, but that's not what we're playing with here. They play with a different rule book.
Yeah.
Oh, no. So he's going on, and I go, you know what? I go, I'll show it to you. And it was in the first period of the game. We played another one, and then we had an ice cut between the second and third. I went into the locker room. I grabbed the my little electronic device.
Yep.
I went on my mobile rule book, and sure enough, there it is.
Yep.
So I came out after that, and I said, hey, I'm not trying to be a jerk here. I go, but here's the rule. I go, I understand that things get fuzzy, and just wanted you to know, so in case it happens again. And he's like, you know what? I really appreciate that. I had refs tell me that this is a rule and that, and they never come out and show me. Yeah. So if you do have a thing that happens in a game and you're dead on, you're right, you can come out and show them. But if you're wrong, still go out there and give them that respect, because they're going to respect you more if after that ice cut you come out and go, you know what? I looked it up. I screwed up. Sorry about that.
Own it, guys.
They're not going to. Yep. So just keep going with it. And, we're all out there to do our best, and mistakes do happen. But that's just a good communication tip with coaches and higher level games, and especially if you see the same coaches all the time.
Well, that's the point I was just going to make. I mean, guys, when if you're working the upper level games and you're working, Central States and beyond, you're going to see the same coaches in and out, whether they go to a different team or they're with the same team. But you are, you need to have a good rapport with these guys. And I think, they will respect you a lot more if you do have that honest, open rapport with them.
Yeah.
We have a job to do, they have a job to do, and their job is to work us as much as they possibly can too. So, don't take it personally. It's what they do. I mean, that is their job, is to work you a little bit. So some are better at that job than others, and I don't want to bring out any names, but there are some guys that are really good at working you, okay? They're very good at their job. But, have that good rapport with them. I mean, we can agree to disagree at the end of the day, because, of course, things are subject to interpretation, especially when it comes to some of the hits and some of the contact. There's some gray area there. I mean, is that a penalty or not? And, the one that I see most often with the coaches is when somebody just gets blown up that doesn't have the puck. And they're like, well, that was a good hit. Well, no, it's not a good hit because the guy doesn't even have possession of the puck. You're basically blindsiding him. That is a penalty. And, we have done our best to get that out of the game over the last few years. And coaches still don't get that. I'm not sure why. And Frankie, no, the show is not over, but come on up anyway.
Well, somebody put in the comments, another Facebook user, I think. We'll cover it again. There's a link in the Facebook right now. It's on the comments. I put it back up there. Click it, and it'll allow you to have your name and your picture up there. So go ahead and give that a click, and then we'll know who it is because the comment's good. It says, play on, fight to the death.
Yes, absolutely. I'll put it up. Did that come from Gaffney, I wonder, or did he not click the link? Is he in Facebook jail right now, or what? That they won't put his name up?
He's up there in the comment.
Oh yeah, he is, because he said, it must be in my spam folder. Is that the email to go to Nationals? Because Chris Hahn said he didn't get the email either. Chris, are you a 4?
Yeah.
Are you a 5, Jeff. Chris? Chris, are you a 5?
Could be a level 6.
That's what I'm talking about. All right. It's Jeff. Jeff, who works in the AHL. Yeah, Jeff, you should have gotten the email. Might check your spam folder, Jeff, because you should have gotten the email. I didn't get it, but you should have gotten it.
As far as I know, that they said, because it's an interest letter. I've gotten it quite a few times. I know, but somebody did make a comment that I know that's a level 4 that they had never got that email, and it doesn't come from like anybody around our area. It comes from USA, and it's just a general letter. So,
well, when I was a 4, I never got an interest email. I never got one when I was a 4. So
I wonder if they could have, the emails when they send stuff out. It's not always to everybody in that area. They might have an age, where they see the most people that are willing to do it.
Oh, I thought you meant they had an age, and that's why I'm not getting one of those emails.
No, they could. Yeah. I honestly don't know. I'm not the one sending out the email. If I sent the email, I'd definitely be able to tell you, but I'm not. So, but I know that it went out because I saw it from USA, and I laughed on my own behalf because I was like, there's no way I'm going to put my availability into this. Because if I get it, I haven't skated enough. And that's unfair to the teams that are there, even if, they haven't played or they have. Well, it's not fair.
Well, nobody's skated enough. I mean, let's be honest. Everybody's in the same boat. I mean, there's been no games. There's been no activities. So let's see.
Yeah, it's the interest email, Jeff.
BJ sent that email a few months ago for guys showing interest. So you might have just not even seen it because hockey was the furthest thing from your mind at the time. And
that's true.
It may still be in your junk email or your email account. So do a search. I mean, that's all I could suggest. Anyway, a couple other things I wanted to cover today.
Hey, does anybody have the US? Well, somebody that's on here, go on the USA Hockey Twitter account. I just got an email. Did they tweet out my article?
Did they? Nice.
Yes, they did.
They did, and you still failed to put the show on there for Wednesdays at noon.
I knew you were going to give me a hard time about the show.
I'm going to continue to give you a hard time. We could have grown our audience. We could have gone up like 2 more viewers or something. I mean, we could have doubled our audience to 4 people. No.
Oh, well, that's
no. I thank you guys all that check us out every week. We appreciate it. We really enjoy this. I mean, this was something that we actually have a great time doing. Brad thought we'd do this for 3 weeks, and here we are.
You were a little bit crazy. I did.
Well, I am, but that's beside the point. All right, so I'm going to get up on my soapbox now because I got an issue, and I want to take this up with all you guys. And my issue is this. I don't understand the centers at all levels, from squirt to midget major, that nobody knows how to line up for a face-off and take a face-off. I am on a true crusade here, guys, to get coaches to teach their players how to take a face-off, how to line up.
You're hitting this again, huh?
I am because I'm seeing it day in and day out. It's a problem. It's a problem. I think it's something that we all need to correct as officials. I mean, you can't even get the puck down. These guys have their heads over the dots. It's like, where do you want me to drop the puck, guys? There's no place to even go here. You guys are almost like interlocked neck to neck, and you want me to throw it in from the side or what? I mean, you can't even get the puck down, and you tell them over and over. And the funny thing is, then when you finally get the players to square up, the kid wins 4 faceoffs and they score. Like, he hasn't won a faceoff all day, and now you've got him squared up, and he wins the next 4 draws in the offensive zone, and they get a goal. And it's like, kind of interesting, huh? But yeah, I'm on a mission to try to get referees to, even Frankie, as she's back here barking now, and she never talked. Oh, she's bringing the ball. She said,
I got a business opportunity for you, Scott. So you could do this, and you get some synthetic ice, right? And just with the face-off dot, you could stand out in the parking lot with your players and teach them how to do face-offs, because I kind of understand where coaches are. So
you want me to do that? Is that that's my business opportunity? Am I going to get $20 an hour for dropping pucks for the Maple Leafs or what?
No, you're not dropping pucks. I'm just saying, create the synthetic ice surface with the face-off dot. Call it the face-off fail or something.
Yeah, the ref room face-off dot.
Come out. This is probably like already something that's marketed.
Yeah,
where they can get out there and they can just work on face-offs, because I think the biggest issue is ice can cost up to $20 a minute, in some areas. Or a minute. That's not right. But every couple minutes is $20.
Yeah.
So I get where they kind of go, but skating's big. So I think those are skills that players need to develop themselves. But I know that it annoys us, and it especially affects you, because this is the second week in a row that you brought it up.
Yeah. I mean, because it's over and over and over and over again. Players don't even know that there's the half moon that their stick is supposed to be in. So wait, you're a center. You've been playing for years. You don't even know where your stick is supposed to go. Now, I will tell you, and this is my personal opinion, of course, I think if you're a struggling hockey team, the first way your team might improve is if your center actually knew how to take a face-off and what to do when he got there, instead of just whacking the referee in the legs. Every time the puck went down, he thinks he's taking a snapshot and he slaps you in the legs or the skates. Coaches, teach these players what to do. I mean, like Brad said, you could take them off ice, you can put them on some concrete and teach them how to do this, but they need to learn what to do. They have no plan when they get there. It's like, how can you have 3 centers on your team? Not one of them knows what to do when they get to the face-off dot, or what the object of the face-off is, other than, slam your sticks against each other and go. And you see this over and over, and you see it even at all levels. I mean, I'm not just talking about a JV game or whatever. You see it at all levels. You see it, squirts, peewees, bantams, midgets. So I'm on my soapbox, guys. I don't know what your thoughts are, if I'm, if you want me to move on from that subject, but I really feel like it's something that should be addressed.
You can start, once you start to get to the what I would call the higher levels, but it's not always the higher levels. But once you see a talented center, you'll see where the center starts taking their face off and they start using their body in order to win that face off. It's not just the sticks. Yeah. A talented center will force themselves across the dot, circle around so that they're in between them and their opponent, and they have even more control. Now, that's not every face-off, but that's where they start to get talented. And as officials, it's a good thing to get your hand in and out as fast as possible, because once some of those guys start doing that, your hand's vulnerable, and we've all been hit in the hand, and it's not a pleasant experience. I mean, so just keep
especially
an eye
when you
out
see some of these players choking down big time on the stick, man. You better be prepared, and be prepared to say something after the first face-off, because he'll probably keep hitting you with that stick if he doesn't know what he's doing, and some guys just don't know. I had a player from the North Shore, a really good center. I mean, he was able to move the puck forward in the offensive zone and get a shot on goal. And he did it more than one time. Like the center that was defending against it didn't know how to defend it and didn't know what to do. So guess what? This guy was taking advantage. He was walking him all day long. it was like, here's a free shot, just go for it. It's like you get a penalty shot, just go right in and get a shot off, because the guy has no clue as to what you're trying to do and what he's supposed to be doing. So again, I just go back to coaches. This is something I really feel like needs to be addressed. And, players should know why there are the half moons on the face-off dot. I mean, and obviously, guys, some of us must not be paying attention to the face-off and conducting it properly. Otherwise, eventually these guys would be learning and they wouldn't be doing it over and over. So, it falls on all of us, I think, to try to improve that situation. So
be the teacher
that's
in
it.
That standpoint.
There's my rant for the day. I got to have
okay.
my daily rant. So I did it. That was Brad's breakaway, by the way, brought to you by.
We haven't done one in a while.
I know. Well, we need to have the breakaway. Otherwise, we're going to go to Scott's bitch session.
You know what? We can rebrand that. I know a guy that can draw some art, maybe.
Yeah. Well, Mark says he hears Dan Patrick wants you on his show. So,
Hey, you know what? I really like Dan Patrick. So,
I do too.
I'd be in for that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And when you get there, could you please remember to mention that we do this every Wednesday at noon and give them the channel when you have that opportunity, which you will again, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, it is what it is.
Yeah, Karen says, congratulations. That'll be our next TED Talk. So I like that idea, Karen. I think that would be awesome. And Mason says, so disappointed, Brad, you didn't have faith in this. Yeah, I'm disappointed too, and didn't even have enough faith to put it in the article that it even exists.
Well, I wasn't. No offense, I wasn't thinking of this.
Mason knows how to take a face off. See?
Yes.
All right. Well, I'm glad. See, Mason, all that training from the referees has paid off for you. And Karen says, learning fundamentals takes time from learning the good stuff. Yeah. Well, being a center, I mean, they should be practicing this stuff. This is where games are won or lost. Am I correct? The face-off is a big thing if you get to nationals. Like, the referees are selected, the officials, based on how well they get the puck down and how well they conduct face-offs. Am I correct in what I'm saying?
It does become a big thing, because when you get in that group of people, you're all along the similar level of officiating. Everybody can skate at that point. Everybody pretty much knows the rules. Every once in a while, some stuff gets messed up, but it doesn't happen that much at nationals. But when they get down to it, they do still have to make a selection on who's going to work a quarterfinal, semifinal, and final. And there's only 4 spots on the final. So, it does come down to that. It comes down to washout signals. It comes down to, is your thumb in when you put your arm up? It really does come down to sometimes when you have. It's
not a question, guys. It's not a question. This is not the signal. It's
stop sign.
Yep, exactly.
It becomes very difficult, and I understand that, because sometimes I can bet you there's times where they're sitting there going, how do I cut through one of these guys? Like, I got nothing. Like, they can't break anything up, and then all of a sudden they're like, his skates look newer than his. I mean, I don't know if it comes down to that.
His blades have been, his tooks have been cleaned with the Mr. Clean sponge. And I see guys do that.
And I know that sucks, but that's the reality of it. They have to make a decision somewhere along the way. And you know what? Sometimes, they make that decision and they'll hunt you down and they'll say, hey, look, just so you know, it's not that you don't deserve to be there, but we had to make a decision. This is the reason why. And you may say, oh, well, that's a BS excuse or whatever. They're understanding that as well when they get there. But face-offs become hugely, hugely important at nationals. But that's also why USA Hockey has their face-off procedure out from the belt buckle, out and down, the whistle blow, because a team from Alaska that plays USA Hockey should be able to play in Florida, and the face-off should be similar.
Right.
I mean, they want them to be as close as possible. You're not going to always be the exact same way, and so I would highly suggest, if you don't know the USA Hockey procedure for a face-off, you learn it and you get it down patented, because it does become a thing in national events, a big thing. So You are correct, Scott. That's an excellent point.
Yeah, and again, I think teams would benefit from knowing how to do it and being better at it. I think they would see their winning percentage go higher, not just on the face-offs, but I think they would win more games. I mean, they would score some goals based on being able to do it because, when you get guys to square up, guys that haven't been winning draws start winning face-offs. And that leads to opportunities, or defensive opportunities, whatever the situation may be. But that's part of my rant. The other thing I want to remind guys, referees or officials, to be looking at your partner. And I know you haven't been skating a lot, but when you get in that little log jam along the boards, up against the bench, wherever, your partner is going to go down and try to cover for you. Or at least they should be trying to go down and cover for you. But, you need to look at your partner because your partner's probably screaming at you, And if you decide like, oh, no, I got this anyway, all you've done is put your partner in a bad spot now because your partner can't get back. He's already gone down to try to cover for you. And if you don't realize that, then now your partner has to try to double back to take care of his side. So, it's super important when you're working in a 3 or a 4-man, when you're lining, you should be looking at your partner almost as much as you're looking at the game. Because, your partner is your safety valve that's going to keep you safe because that means you can get off that line and not get run over. But B, really good communication and, linesmen that are dropping the puck or in a 2 official system and your partner's just brought the, an icing back to you, please give your partner a chance to get back into position before you put the puck down as he's rounding the back of the net and, boom, you're already putting the puck down. I mean, you got to look, guys. It's safety for your partner, safety for you, and just a common courtesy. And, I've seen, a lot of guys are a little bit out of, haven't skated as much lately. They're just coming back. So some of these things are basic and they just need to be reminded. So, that's my public service message for today.
No, that's a great point. The one thing about looking at your partner is when you're the free official, not by the pileup, like you referred to the log jam.
Yeah.
If your partner looks like when you're driving down the road and you see a deer on the side of the road and your headlights hit them, you should cover. You should cover for them.
Right.
Okay. That's number one. Number two is this is a point I'm going to make because I've seen it very few times. But I'm going to make it because it keeps happening over the years. Do not buy a tinted visor. I know it sounds
the
crazy.
Ovechkin, the Ovechkin,
or the smoked out ones. Okay, because I did work with somebody many years ago. They bought a tint. It was a smoked out visor, and I worked with them. And I kept looking at them. I couldn't see their eyes from across the ice.
That's a good point.
So it completely eliminated any communication that we had of the deer in the headlights look.
Yeah.
Or that they're looking here or there. I couldn't tell. So just pointing that out, it's a mistake that happens, and it happened. I know somebody told me a story about a very talented official we have that did it, and they refereed together, and they said something at the end, and they were like, "Oh wow, I didn't even think of that. I'll get a clear one." Like it was one game, but I'm just pointing that out. Just don't wear.
I didn't even know you could, as an official. I didn't even know you could wear a tinted visor. I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me that you would. I know it doesn't really say. I guess it's an unwritten rule. If you're not Ovechkin, you don't wear a tinted visor. I don't care if it's men's league or if it's AAA hockey. If you're not Ovechkin, you don't wear one.
Well, I love the men's league guy that wears the mirror visor. That's RoboCop on the ice.
Yeah.
No matter what, he's going to complain.
Yeah.
It's going to happen.
And you can't see his eyes, so yeah.
All right. Well, good stuff, Scott.
I know the hour goes so fast. We have actually exceeded the hour. I need to check my rant notes here and see if I have anything else I want to rant about. I got a couple things, but you got anything?
I had a good week, so I don't have any rants. I had a lot of fun all week. So
you and me both. Just because I have rants doesn't mean I'm not having a great time out there. It's part of the entertainment value we try to provide for you guys. Somebody's got to take a stance. So For those of you who know, I do another show on Wednesdays. It's a DJ's live streaming show, and we banter back and forth, and I'm always on the losing end of everything that we do with my partner in that show. That's just part of how it's planned. Just like if you know radio and you remember the legendary Herb Kent, he had the battle of the best, and he took somebody on every week, and he lost every week. He never won the battle of the artist that he chose. So you knew if Herb had them, they were going to lose. It didn't matter if it was Luther Vandross or James Brown, they were going down. So it's kind of the same thing here. So with that, I guess we will wrap things up, and let's see if I could play the right one here.
You're watching The Ref Room with Scott Smokin' Sills and Brad Baumrock. Hockey talk for referees,
I hit the wrong one again.
Coaches, players, and fans. The Ref Room continues right now.
No, it doesn't continue. It's concluding right now. So
thanks for watching The Ref Room.
There you go.
If you have an idea for an upcoming show or guest, hit us up. Just email us, refroombrad@gmail.com.
Yeah, so we gave you all the credit. We let you get the emails, and maybe when you write one of these articles, you can talk about the show in there and maybe let people know that it happens. I'm not gonna let up on that one. You know how it goes. So with that, I guess we're gonna start to wind it down. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Hope you guys have a great week. Get out there and get some games, have some fun, get some exercise, drop a couple of those LBs that you've been putting on, late night on the couch. Right. How many are you down, Brad?
I'm afraid to weigh myself because it's not going to be as much as I want.
All right. Well, everybody have a great week. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next Wednesday at noon. On behalf of my man Brad Baumrock, I am Scott Smokin' Sills coming to you from the Windy City. You guys have a great week. We'll talk hockey next week at noon. Peace out.